tries to shut the door behind him. Nice and polite, but that's not going to get you anywhere. Falcons and GS, though, are clashing heavily on this hilltop. At the moment, it's going both ways and taking knocks, and Falcons finally finding an advantage, but in rolls Esso. He's down from across the way. It's a tanky taking the shot. The Falcon's still alive, only just with the blue zones here, and Redox desperately trying to heal it, and he...
The fields. I don't think really anyone enjoys this, but I think the bigger issue here is the eastern plane path off the back of this one. Does cause quite a few issues in terms of the rotates off towards that western side, because typically with a field finish like this, there's not a massive amount of critical compounds that can be taken. So if you're starting on the east side of the map anyway, anyone who gets fairly center at the start of this game is going to have a big advantage. So we're looking at Gen G, we're looking at Falcons, even potentially APG here starting in melee base. They can get out quickly, but again, this is going to require APG to be a little bit quicker on the ball of leaving from Sosnovka, and they should understand to do that. I hope they'd understand to do that with an eastern plane path. Like, they have a big advantage here to get towards a more prominent position of inside the circle. I think maybe they're slightly worried about a bridge camp, but again, I think Gen G, Go, they're more preoccupied with also taking position within the center of this map.
Getting on into the middle. I mean, it worked out quite well. They grabbed the vehicles and headed away. Actually, likely to transition to South George here, and why not? You've got the circle access a little bit more secure, and you won't have to go for that bridge crossing after teams have already moved into that north side area.
For OG, much more comfortable start to their game as well, John, purely because Regnum Kai is no longer being a thorn on their side around Rozhok. They can completely surround this area now, which is very, very nice for them going forward. And they should be able to get a decent rotate from the top side of Rozhok down. Like I say, for Team Secret, just instantly sending off there over towards Georgiapol. There's a lot of good rotation. Get a good view of the map here. See what's next on the cards for us. Alter Ego a little bit slower to this one, but they can divert quite easily over towards Pattaya Hill and then towards the northwest. Around Everest, though, we're pretty much going towards a similar location. For APG, it's somewhat unfortunate for the early central start. They have a fair way to move. GS, though, quite happy the way this one plays out.
Yeah, they'll be able to move into that north side. The major feature, the major point of interest that is in this circle that really wasn't in the last one is ruins. That ruins area to the east of Everest is going to be, I'm sure, where GS are going to at least look to try and go. Some of the buildings around that area, teams are going to try and filter through. 9Z as well. Maybe they'll be able to get on over there because they're going for their classic. Let's just go over the top and see what we can find their position. This south edge, though, across the fields, is going to get brutal. And Gen G eat first blood. There's claws to go down.
Yeah, the wide wrap Kings in 9Z, it's been working out all right, to be honest. GS, though, like you said, did stop off over towards Castle and Ruins. Decent spots to play in going forward. Again, leaving Ruins is a little bit awkward, so I actually quite like OG's position, which is just east of Everest there, picking up the compounds in that area. I think you might have teams wanting to try and challenge for that spot at some point, but for the time being, I think most players are quite comfortable in their current positions. This is going to be a little bit more of a slow game. Also, OG flexing out towards the top of Everest, trying to get some high ground control as well. Okay.
All right. You want to get an oversight? Fair enough. I mean, Everest, big feature in this zone. Alter Ego were playing towards it before, not fully on the top of it towards the end there, but it's a little bit more central this time around, and maybe we'll play well. Loops on the road. Alter Ego sending in towards some of those ruins positions too. They've already lost Alva. That's a flush from Falak.
Yeah, well played. I mean, he's flexed out from the rest of the squad. Just finds a quick pick off and we'll pick up the flush off the back of it as well. The guy is insane. Actually insane. Yeah, I think a lot of people understand why I usually say that Falak's probably one of my top 3 favorite players of all time. I think he was someone who really impressed me on his off-angle plays in the past and was one of the best to do it. And now again, showing off just how strong he can be here in the biggest international tournament of the year.
And what a time to do it as well. Looking really, really hot. Finger on the trigger, ready to go at a moment's notice. Drop of a hat. Reject, they're moving up on the west side, currently skirting around the west of Hospital. Currently Goat occupy that area, but they are going to divert further north than Goat's position and maybe challenge towards Everest here. I mean, this is very similar circle the last time around. The difference here, though, Blank, is that Wolves are in the compound that nobody went into last time around. You said they needed to move a little bit earlier. Maybe that's what they were looking for. An APG in their compound that ended up being a pretty convincingly winning compound in the last one. They'll take up occupation there.
I like that for Wolves. You know, they spectate the game. They're like, what can we do differently? Pick the open compound, perhaps. And so they're close to it now, so they just go for it. Understanding that it seems to not really be in the progress of a lot of other teams' routes in towards the circle there. So for Wolves, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It is slightly on the western side, quite close to the edge of the circle, which is a bit worrisome. But it's playable. It's definitely playable towards the end game. Goats finding Patino from Loops. Yeah, getting the same circle again is a weird one, right, John? Where you kind of make some adjustments to your last game, maybe patch up some holes in your playstyle.
I mean, it is absolutely, and given that teams were sort of all in very similar drop spots as well, it's going to play out maybe fairly similarly. But Falak's down, and that is bad news for Inner Circle fans. Looks like they are going to rally the troops, though, and it's just Krypton close by. Could potentially be more trouble around the corner, but at the moment, T24 just drawing attention. Yeah, they're going to be able to get this res. Rosemary moving into position, though. There's an off angle. He looks for it, and Snape gets the spray down as well. Two players from Alter Ego able to line up the shots, and now Inner Circle have lost another player. This is a good little pickup for Alter Ego, working the ground around them.
I mean, they had a little bit of damage done to them earlier, but it's Wolves in a 4v4 with them and Reject, and it is going swimmingly well as Reject will hit the deck. Wolves retain all 4 players up, and that is a convincing finish there for them. In the meantime, Inner Circle are just getting battered and bruised by Alter Ego. Not happy with them taking down one of their players earlier in Alva.
No, they will do a hell of a lot more in response. T24 did manage to get away for Inner Circle, so Solo on the north side playing on. Wolves held the compound against Reject. We saw that push coming through, that crash from Reject did not go their way. And what that meant is that GOAT could not third party. OG couldn't extract elimination points. Both of those two teams playing up towards Everest, which is really good news for the Wolves. It means that it's much, much less likely that they're going to get third partied on an approach here now.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a big thing when it comes to big crashes, because we saw it even on that first game of the day, is where Papara Supermassive just could not hold on the north side of Rondo because they dealt with the first 2 crashes. But if teams keep coming, then eventually things are going to start to get rough. Big shift though towards the north side. Keeps Everest in. Damn, goodness me. But APG get a central circle and prank no more. Dark with a lovely nade over towards T24. And that will sit APG at 2 eliminations, and they are looking to secure a position in that top 3 at the end of this game.
I mean, it's like the exact same circle. It's insane. We're going to exactly the same place, exactly the same finishes. Maybe a couple more teams on that north side and that lining that Everest side as well, which was, as you were talking about before, a bit of a major feature of that last game, right? That glut of teams moving in on the northeast, playing that area. That's a little bit more spread out here. So that's probably going to be the pace difference in this match. We'll see what can get done. OG still lining the top of Everest with Papara Supermassive trying to move in, but with APG down beneath them, taking shots, and with OG up the top, you don't imagine that's going to be super successful.
Snape just stood on top of Jeff's position, so that we'll find him. Let's get down off there. What are you doing? Sit on the rooftops. Then he goes in, won't find any damage. But for Alter Ego, it looks like it's starting to come to a little bit of a close here for them. I think it's tough rotates from here on out. For APG, though, they are just fully committed to the 4-man hold.
Ooh, the nade. It's just Krypton now, I believe, left for Alter Ego. As he keeps it on going, though, wants to get stuck into the fight. Nolbu around the corner, does go down. Chips has an off angle. There's someone across the way, but Krypton finds the inside of the building. A little shack, but a Molotov burns the door away. A mad dash across, and Krypton's just juking him out right now. Osal hopping in with the auto shotty. The healing's there. He's looking for Snake, but no! He's beneath the boxes. A spin around. He got the heal off as well, but it's just Chips now on the inside. D+ have a nightmare sent their way, and GS can close them down here and now.
I mean, that predict on the Molotov was something serene in that moment. Love to see it. The fact that he's able to jump out there in time and then quickly get in cover and get the first aid off. I don't think D+ Kia is expecting that kind of resilience from Solo. GS now looking to finish off the players from D+ as they get out, but they've also got other concern, which is getting into the circle itself. 9Z moving over towards where APG were playing, hoping to take control back again of a position they held before.
APG's nades. Fending off against Team Secret and 9Z. Ooh, this is nasty stuff. Only 2 players alive for 9Z. Nade just a bit long there from top. Onto the 2 from 9Z. Won't quite be able to find it. Team Secret, I feel like their position is going to get weaker and weaker as fights around them conclude. They need to start pushing in and start gaining ground inside this building.
There's a slight waste of grenades there coming through from APG. I think the first couple were fine, you know, just on the off chance you're able to hit something. What is Bond doing from Tiamba? Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know why you thought it was a solo. That'd be a great place to try and live out the rest of the game. Is that one of the most contested areas on the map?
Hey, look, Aking's going to give it a go as well. In the meantime, though, Wolves flex out of their compound. They push up Everest. They crunch Goat in between them and OG. A lot of damage inflicted by Coops towards Goat, and it is going to leave Goat down now on 2 players. The job is done. Wolves regroup back down to the south. They know that with the circle shifting up north, their compound is going to be a prime target for taking for teams on the south side. I'm looking at Falcons.
OG is just major oversight over towards the rest of the map right now. They've got a incredible Overwatch. This is the time for a team like OG to start picking up some big points off the back of this one. I think I like this flex out over towards the eastern side. Leaving WizGod behind to fend off the 2 players from Goat is a good idea. Not likely Goat's going to push, and these players on the east can start to take shots over towards GS or even the Falcons as they attempt to come on in.
Ooh, Ratto Boy wants to try and find the spray. Gen G will look at a regroup, but they had to give one up. I think that's Tiamba out. Yes, it is. They will go down in 12th. No, Raptor Boy tries to shut the door behind him. Nice and polite, but that's not going to get you anywhere. Falcons and GS, though, are clashing heavily on this hilltop. At the moment, it's going both ways and taking knocks, and Falcons finally finding an advantage, but in rolls Esso. He's down from across the way. It's a tanky taking the shot, and the Falcon's still alive, only just for the blue zones here, and Redox desperately trying to heal it, and he can't get it done. The bandage is not fast enough, and that is 2 teams isolated with 1 spray down from a tanky.
Yeah, I mean, the easy stuff. And this is exactly what I was talking about, is that flex out towards the eastern side. It's the obvious choice, and it's well done. That clears out a massive amount of space. Finally, Top is able to hit a disgusting grenade, so maybe not a waste after all. Just needed to find the right angle on it. Gen G, your arms aren't that strong. I'm going to be real with you. This is some unreasonably long lobbing distance.
Very ambitious. I like the spirit, you know? Unfortunately, that's not what counts. It's if you actually get the nade on in. That's what you're looking for. I mean, Team Secret, they believe them, though. That's the thing.
They really do. They're like, oh, it's a bit scary. Wait, maybe we could send one back. There's some okay nades. Good chip damage as well.
Molotov just goes a little bit long. They're not quite sinking them down.
Oh, it corrals them, though.
It does do that. Yeah, you're right. And actually forces one of them out. That will be a nade range of Gen G. Maybe now they should have had the nades. Unfortunately, not to be. The nades keep sinking in, but the heal's coming through to keep them safe. There's shots. Who's that coming from? That's Wolves. Doran able to shut down Zeol, and they have to back it off. Seems like this compound makes teams think that they can peak when they shouldn't. Doc, learning from that last match, moves out to where we saw Rosemary flex out to last time.
Yeah, I mean, in that spot as well, your biggest issue is the fact that to get the airburst on where Team Secret's playing, you have to push far enough out to lob the grenade down. The only way you can do that was with a smoke, but then you're throwing the nade blind, so you have to kind of hope for it. And if you don't use the smoke, then Wolves have that angle from the western side. So Team Secret actually is really quite safe right now, honestly. It's difficult for APG to remove them, and now because they're closer towards the center, APG has a big problem on their hands.
WizGod He's peeked over the ridgeline and immediately is humbled on the peak. Doesn't go down though, which could be crucial. Go on a mad crash. Let's see if they can cling on, if their hooves have got enough grip to make it to somewhere, to anywhere that they can find. They've got to some trees. They've got to a rock or two. Maybe they'll stay alive for just a moment longer. This fight in the compound just doesn't seem to want to conclude. OG,
nice.
to fully isolate. That's the nade they were looking for. That is what they wanted to find, and the first knock is finally going to come through. A second, a third as well. That's the off angle coming in, and it will be devastating for them. A fourth nade, maybe they'll find it. Reefus does go down in the meantime. Doc should be on picking that one up. That nade's going to go wide. Just the one player now left standing. Ziol spots him. The off angles do too. The Wolves are going to have a say.
I mean, Atanki's picking up points from the back of this as well over towards Team Secret. Again, it's not an easy nade to throw for Ziol. It really does quite take some precision. Doc makes that one look pretty easy though, but again, it's Doc. It's Doc, so we have to bow down and accept that. But for APG, 11 points on the game right now. This is way better from them, and you start to wonder if it's a case it was nerves going into the gauntlet there, where they were playing against some of the best teams in the world. I think that APG plays a lot better when they think that they're the big dogs in the lobby, which they certainly are here.
It seems so with the current situation. Koops moving up really high up the mountain, getting that off angle, using the time available to him without that blue zone on the pressure. And yeah, Wisgod, he's done and dusted. Will be flushed out now. Wolves playing from that western side. They've been a little bit quieter than the other teams. They moved into their position early. You liked it, Blank. It seems like they felt it too. Koops using this high ground to the best of his advantage whilst he still can, but needs to start to evacuate now. With the blue zone pushing through, that is going to be further down the hill for them to sink. And it's going to leave APG and Wolves, the only 4-player team, and Solos, and then OG on the 3-player Miracle Run.
For OG, they're already splitting, though, quite early. They do have that anchor in AKOP down the hillside. Chips is attempting to get as many points as possible off the back of this one. But for D+, it has been a little bit odd watching them, right? The aggression isn't there. They feel fairly weak in these team fights, which is so strange compared to the performance we've seen from them in the past. So, yeah, I think D+ needs to find their footing once again, because at the moment this just isn't going to cut it.
North shift on the circle. I mean, this is OG with the majority of the land mass in this one. APG going to have to move north, and maybe D+ make it to third, you know, on this solo position with Chips.
I mean, this is kind of, in my mind, this is the big question for OG now, because this is probably the 5th time the circle has shifted towards them this game, and they have decent positioning in it. We've seen these types of circle shifts before for OG, and I think it's closing the match, which is still the thing that they are struggling to do here.
Oh, you can't let that happen as well. The solo position coming through from D+. That's going to split and really diminish this power, this position for OG. Aru kind of isolated up the top there. Needs to hop in the vehicle, drop a smoke, get some acceleration on the way down. But where do you go from there? You got to get into nade range of everything else. APG flexing out. Look at top move. He's going around the edge, and it's going to be all up to AKOP down on the low ground to stay alive for them.
Nice shot from Chips. Immediate response over towards top. I think there was a little bit of assistance coming through on the sidelines there.
No way.
And that's the... Again, they know that Chips is here.
That's crazy. That's crazy that Chips has been able to do that.
Yeah.
He's been allowed so much freedom on this north side, taking down top as well on the approach. I mean, that slowed APG. The solo position now behind a tree is completely known. He's trying to drop these smokes and get a little bit safer. I don't think such a place exists.
Yeah. For APG, though, I think this is a win. It should be a win, right? For Wolves, if they're able to take the fight to APG, though, that is a massive thing for them. For Wolves, it will certainly put some confidence back in them, which I think they're absolutely lacking at the moment. I think that there's a lot of times where Wolves are even second-guessing their own decisions that they make in these games, where 2 players will have a very different plan from one another. But this game feels a lot better in terms of that so far. I do think that the success they found from that mid game has really helped them, but Doc already finding that angle over towards Igor is pretty bad news. 12 elims so far for APG, and nade down the hillside to confirm this knock over towards Chips. He just about jumps out the way. Doc?
It's the buggy reposition.
Hello?
The nade is long. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Doc moves out as well. Chips finally goes down. It's Batten to be able to find that. So that is solidified. Doc is still alive. APG going to have to move forwards a little bit with their off angles. This is a straight up 3v4 between these two teams now, as they were able to find one of the wolves earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Doc just ran him over, by the way.
Yeah. Crack on, lad.
That's stylish. A little reverse from reverse.
Absolutely. Getting the tire blown out doesn't mean you can't look good. And he is going to slide into safety. Slide into home base. The Wolves now flexing Batten out. Trying to get a north side position. Remember, it closes dead center on this circle. And APG are going to move up to the ridge lines. There's this divot that sits in front of the Wolves. APG can't go full for it. I mean, especially can't, given the 14 nades on side for the Wolves. They've got a lot of utility. And APG, they need to place that one nade perfectly.
For APG, it is just one day they need, but I think they expended a lot of them over towards Team Secret earlier. Good shots over towards Wolves now have all been slammed into the same position. Top has all the angles that he might like, and Wolves again is just, I think they're trying to find safety in numbers, but what they need here is angles over towards APG, and they're unwilling to go for them. Baton just exposes himself there. Zol's immediately stepping up. Now just 2 players remaining. Coops would need 2 massive nades to finish from now. And it's definitely, it should be a 16 elim game here coming through for APG, barring some craziness from the Wolves.
You would think so. As they get that flush, they're up to 14 already. They're grouped up a little bit, and there's still a couple of nades left. They're all being unleashed now, though. None of them really connecting. Doc a little bit further away than that. The bounce around the side. He just steps out in time. Doc just about in cover. He knows nades. He knows what's going on there. And there go the Molotovs, the utility. Ziol stepped up and does get taken down. Coops needs to commit to the heal right now, and there's no nades in response. There's still, no, they don't have any. It's only one nade on the Wolves' back pocket. That gets it forwards towards top. Goes long. Coops forced into the trade. From the high ground, will not be needed. The backup not there. Thorin behind the tree will get burnt away. And APG, I don't know if they got that last elim, but they were able to hold on to the zone, hold on to the game this time around. And it is a different team that we're seeing from the Gauntlets who've stepped into Group Green.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an APG fan, you're probably like both